Hello, I'm Shannon Mondor, certified life coach and published author. As you are all aware, or should be by now, I have written a book called How in the Hell Did I Get Here that you can purchase off of Amazon. Since the book launched in March, I have gone through a real growth of learning lessons. They never seem to stop, and I know now that they are never going to stop because this is what makes me stronger and stronger and helps me teach others through my experiences. For those that have read my book, you will agree that it is real, raw, and some parts are shocking because I hold nothing back. And it is my truths and traumas of how I became addicted to alcohol. Key words here are my truths and my traumas. Through this, I also share how I have thrived to become the person I am today. On that note, I can honestly say I can count on one hand the people that I know who really speak their truth and are brutally honest. It really takes strength, courage, and the I don't give a shit attitude, which I appreciate, admire, and have since implemented into my life. When I got to this level of honesty, I really needed to incorporate that attitude. Otherwise, I would have gotten eaten alive by others and their opinions. I have found that since I have spoke my truth, I have healed even more, but my strengths have been tested as I have been shown what others' true feelings are towards me, my addiction, and how much image and affiliation to an addict means to them. Also, the shame and embarrassment that is held towards me for having an addiction to alcohol. This experience alone, I learned two main learning lessons immediately. One, when people show you who they are, believe them. Two, those who judge the most are those who have the most to hide. What I experienced was not a shock, but I was surprised at the self-centeredness involved. I get judgment, you bet. I have been judged my whole life, but no one could ever judge me as much as I have to myself. After processing this judgment that I received, I totally understood that it wasn't about me. It was all about them. I was the one that freed myself from addiction to help others and myself heal by telling my story. I have done the best thing I could do for myself to heal, and I succeeded. I know I can't control what people think of me, or am I accountable for their feelings. But what I can do is educate them on addiction if they are open to listening. I know their feelings are all stemming from fear. They themselves are afraid of being judged, so it is easier to blame and judge others. I get it. I did it for years. Once I shifted my perspective and took my ego out of the equation, it stirred up this overwhelming power and strength to levels I had no idea that I had. This power is what has brought me to where I am today to speak openly and educate others, because this is obviously where people need to be educated. So many of you don't understand addiction or why it happens. You just think it is horrible, which I agree it is. So here it goes. Let's get real. Addiction is horrible, and it is no way to live. When people speak their truth about addiction, that should be embraced, not turned a blind eye because you have issues with privacy. When you feel shame and embarrassment towards that addict, shame on you. You have made this about you when in reality it should be supporting that individual to overcome the addiction by talking about it openly. That is what needs to be understood. Privacy, embarrassment, silence, and not talking about it is the breeding ground to addiction. You can't fix something if you won't admit it's happening. We need to talk. Come on, people. Addiction doesn't give a shit. But being in denial and pretending that it doesn't exist in your family or that you are not affiliated in any way only makes the problem within society 10 times worse. You add to the problem. So in closing, all I want to say is when you're hiding behind your fear to protect your image, shame, or being affiliated with addiction, it will always win. Sweeping it under the rug only worsens the situation, and your ego will always lose. So once again, as a society, we need to start talking about addiction more and more. I can't stress this anymore.